This is the Wiiviewer!
And the LilWiiviewer.
And the LittlestWiiviewer.
We're going to review
Super Mario Odyssey.
for the Nintendo Switch. This is the new Mario game that I've been hoping for. A 3D Mario game without a timer. I mean, when was the last time we got an open world 3D Mario game?
Sunshine.
Now, there's not going to be any spoilers in this, don't worry. There's not going to be any cutscenes. There's not going to be any sound.
There's not even gonna be video.
Yeah, it's just going to be me doing puppets. I think we all remember what happened the last time I did that. And for today's first fight, it's going to be Mario versus Donkey Kong. Now remember, people, you're fighting for my love. So here we go. And fight. Oh, that's right. Oh, Donkey Kong's pounding on him. He's pounding on him. Oh, now his brother came in to help him. Oh, that's right. Now they're pounding on him together. Mario, you're the best. You're my favorite boyfriend ever. Mwah. Mario, you're the greatest hero ever. And I think that you would... Oh, I'm just working on this skit for the...
I don't even want to know.
So what's the story about?
Bowser kidnaps Peach, and Mario gets destroyed by Bowser. And there's a couple hats, too.
Mario's hat gets destroyed, which you won't see because the copyrights we just talked about.
I'm fairly certain Mario got destroyed, too.
Hey, he started the game with 0 coins, didn't he? I think that might have something to do with it.
Hey, I was looking at that cutscene, which we're not going to show. Peach is wearing one of those hats from Cappy's Kingdom. So why can't Peach use that hat to take on Bowser and just say, forget Mario, let's just use my hat?
For all we know, she doesn't even know that's a possibility.
How about that hat talks to her?
It's true that they do talk to each other, but it may be that Cappy is the only one who can do the possessing thing.
That's not true. Some of the Bonneteers, or whatever they're called, mention capturing.
So I guess this is what you call a plot hole. So somehow Mario ends up in a world full of hats.
He lands in a hat kingdom with a hat economy, with hat people, with hat children, with hat ships.
The problem is all the hat spaceships are destroyed, so he has to find a way to another world to find a hat spaceship that is still working. Except that hat spaceship looks like a piece of rusty crap. Then when you get enough moons, somehow all that rust disappears.
Mario Magic.
There's mini buses to fight. What are those things called?
The Brutals.
You know what's weird? When they die, quote unquote, they can turn into the galaxy stars. All those galaxy stars you're picking up are the corpses of these poor guys.
They're instead the corpses of Lumas. So much better.
So you're saying these mini bosses were actually Lumas who want revenge from Galaxy 1 and 2?
It would make sense. Rabbits have been known to have extraterrestrial, like, moon things in Japanese culture, and Nintendo is a Japanese company.
On the topic of bosses, I must say that, like, 90% of the bosses in the game are great.
I'd say 100% of the bosses are great.
I did like how you didn't have to leave the level when you collect a moon. It just kind of kept the flow going. When it came to the moons, I think some of them probably could have been cut because they just were like, oh, look, they're behind this tree. Or, you know, if you talk to a guy, he'll give you one. It's just somebody was like, let's just go ahead and add another one right here. What are we going to do? I'll give it to this guy.
I don't
Welcome
think so.
to the Collectathon.
I don't think so because, like, the way that each level is structured with the moons, there's always something you have to do to get a moon. Whether it be just find it or find a way to get to it. The moon itself, it's not really supposed to be a challenge to, like, complete these moons. It's more of a challenge to navigate the world and to find them. It's instead of micro challenges, it's a lot of macro.
I'd say that the challenge isn't finding one moon, it's finding all the moons.
How many were there?
I believe it's 880 unique moons.
Yeah, I'm not 100%ing that. I mean, this isn't like the Korok seeds in The Legend of Zelda.
Actually, it's pretty close.
No, I meant it's not in the same vein of, like, it really is the same puzzles over and over again in the Korok seeds. You know, oh, well, put an apple here. Pick up a rock. No, they actually put way more creativity in this than they ever did with the Korok seeds.
You're right. Instead, you just gotta put a seed somewhere and then pick up a rock.
Sometimes you have to complete a really big objectives. What did you think of the capture mechanic where you can basically throw your hat at people and then you can take over their bodies?
It was a good mechanic. It makes the game much better than it would be otherwise.
I didn't like it when there was multiple capture targets that you were switching between in a kingdom. Luckily, that only really happens, like, once.
I didn't mind it when you had to switch. I thought it just livened up the gameplay more.
Not every character could be captured. They had to not have a hat on their head, or they had to knock their hat off, and only special people. I think it was like only 50.
It was around 50 to 60. That doesn't sound like a whole lot, but it is. There's actually a lot, and they used it really well.
There's 54.
So if I knocked Princess Peach's hat off, could I throw it into her and it's like, I've become Princess Peach? There's a 2-player mode.
One player controls Cappy. That's
They can
it.
fly around at will.
Now, we played this with the Pro Controller. We didn't try it at all with the motion controls.
I did use handheld mode.
I use motion controls all the time.
Throwing Cappy with the motion controls is a bit clunky if you're not using 2 different Joy-Cons, and I'd imagine even if that's happening, it's still gonna be just a tiny bit clunky, and you would rather just, I don't know, press Y.
Why didn't either of you use the controls like they wanted you, the 2 Joy-Cons in your hands?
Because why would you use the 2 Joy-Cons in your hand when you could use the Pro Controller? Think of, like, the Joy-Cons and, like, a lower plane of thought as the Pro Controller.
You don't really
I
ever
didn't
use
have problem with motion controls in the long run, except for the up throw with the hat. Everything else I got reliably.
Were the levels fun?
Yes, very fun. Very intricately crafted. Very dense.
And very different.
Very diverse.
Yeah, there were some interesting ideas, which we're not going to spoil.
Yeah, there's a water level, a wannabe water level, some water in a level. There's a lot of water in this game.
Hey, don't spoil that! What do you think of the costumes?
They were cool and required for some. Well, not required, but
They can't see your air quotes.
Okay, yeah, or quote required for some moons. You need the costumes.
I did like the costume you unlock from clearing the hardest challenge, but I can't talk about that because that's very spoilery.
There's costumes you can buy with coins, and costumes you can buy with the regional currency, which is a finite number.
100 to 50.
Yeah, in each level, depending on how big it is, really. So, Super Mario Odyssey, LittlWiiviewer, would you buy, rent, sell, or skip?
I would buy this game. This is like Mario 64 2. You get more control over your character, there's a lot more to do, the levels just feel like they actually have a lot of care to it. I think this is one of the best games you will find on the Switch. I don't know if this can be topped.
All right, LittlestWiiviewer, would you buy, rent, sell, or skip?
10 out of 10. Would buy again. 'Cause it's a good game.
And I agree with you. I think it's worth a buy. I thought all the levels felt really different. Sometimes platformers have the same kind of feel to them, level to level. And this didn't have that. So that means there was always a surprise every level you go into. Here's a big shocker. We all agree this game is worth a buy.